name is ROSEMARY MUPAMBWA, and by profession, I'm a social worker, and I've also have a degree in sociology. I work for the health region right now, but I'm also trying to transition into my own business as a life transformational coach and a relationship coach. I'm also an author and a speaker. I lost my husband in 2000, and my youngest daughter was only 5 years. 2 years after I lost my husband, my father passed away. I moved to North America in the States, and I stayed there for a couple of years before I moved to Canada. I moved to Canada in 2006. After that, I started losing very close family members. I lost a brother 2 months before my husband passed away. 2 years later, as I said, my dad passed away. A few years later, my other brother in 2008 passed away. I lost 2 best friends in the process. 2017, I lost my mom. Just last year, 2019, I lost my youngest brother. So I had what I call complicated grief. I couldn't heal because in our African culture, they always tell you, you have to be strong for your kids, which is what I tried to do, and I turned into a superwoman instead of trying to look at myself and heal. So I couldn't find any resources that could address my pain and my wound. So that's why I decided to write this book. So this book is like a manual to me. I refer to it almost every day. It's been an answer to all problems that I've had during my grieving period, and it has been my healing manual as well. The transition was very difficult because I was separated from my kids for 6 years. When I came to North America, I went through culture shock, I went through language shock, I went through food shock. People here in North America, they drive on the wrong side of the road. We in Zimbabwe, we drive on the other side. They speak differently. Every time when I would be talking to them, they would say, oh, you have an accent. And I would look at them as well, like, you have an accent too, just like me. Although I had friends, I missed the family unity because I came here as a single mom. The only thing I had was my suitcase and my handbag. And I remember when I went to McDonald's the other time, I said, yeah, I want a packet of chips. And they looked at me like, we don't sell chips. I'm like, those that are on the picture, and they told me that they are called French fries. That was a shock to me. I'm like, French fries? We are not even in France. Why are you calling them French fries? So there was a lot for me to learn and a lot of adjustment. The weather as well was the worst. When I came, I wasn't dressed for the weather. It was the shock of my life that you wake up in the morning, you can't even see your door because there's so much snow. I had never seen snow. Although I lived in the UK, in Huddersfield, we used to get snow, but not as bad as here, where you can get hips and feet of snow. That was really unheard of. And starting to drive in snow was the nightmare for me. In Zimbabwe, I was a college lecturer. I used to teach in the Commerce and Secretarial Department. I used to teach business economics, business English, public relations and stuff. But when I came to North America, as most of us immigrants, your qualifications are not recognized here. So I decided to do online courses. So I did social work and I did sociology. But after working in the social services industry, I have now decided to transition into coaching. When you are given a journey or when you are supposed to go on a journey, what do? Do you just sit there and look at the road? No, you go through the journey. Women Talk was actually the first platform that I was able to share my story before I even published my book. After that, I was invited to Oslo in Norway to go and speak about my book and her story. When they saw my book, they really couldn't understand what my book was all about. Because when you read the title of my book, the first thing that you think is, oh yeah, it's just about grief and losing your spouse. But no, my book actually helps anybody that has gone through a roller coaster life, if you've gone through divorce, if you've lost a job, if you've retired, and if you have lost your spouse through death or any other means. It has a lot of healing therapies that anybody can use. Nobody can stand around here and say, I have no issues. Everyone has issues. As long as you have an uncle, you have issues. Well, 5 years from now, I'm hoping to be speaking in bigger platforms. I'm hoping to publish a lot more books. I'm also planning to start organizing women retreats where we take women away from their environments and go through a healing journey with them. I would like to encourage a lot of women to be able to reach out for help. I know in our African culture, they've always told us that you don't have to continue crying in public. And in Africa, we don't have counseling services, even coaching services. It's here in North America. But the good thing about Africa is we have community support. Here, we don't have community support. It's you and your children and a few friends. After the funeral, everybody packs their bags and they go. And then what? How long are you going to cry alone in your house? If you don't do something about it, this is why a lot of women are turning to addictions. Some are even committing suicide because they just cannot bear the pain of the loss. And they cannot find any solution because resources are there, but most of the time you need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through. And I've always told people that giving up is not an option. You should thank God that you are alive. You have been given a second chance to live. So why mess it up? And why do you want to allow your life to be taken away because you have lost a spouse? So don't let the death of your spouse take yours too.